Hey everyone, welcome back to our channel.
Welcome back. It's good to be back.
Really good to be back. It's been a while. Today we'll be reacting to Donald Trump's lawyer exposing, according to him, the Democrats and the Congress. We're interested to see since Donald Trump just won the election. So without further talking, let's check it out.
Jump into it.
Say this clearly. We have reason to believe the House managers manipulated evidence and selectively edited footage. If they did, and this were a court of law, they would face sanctions from the judge. I don't raise this issue lightly. Rather, it is a product of what we have found in just the limited time we have had since we first saw the evidence here with you this week. We have reason to believe that the House managers created false representations of tweets, and the lack of due process means there was no opportunity to review or verify the accuracy. Consider these facts. The House managers, proud of their work on the snap impeachment, staged numerous photo shoots of their preparations.
What the?
Wait, really? Who would do that? Wait, it doesn't make sense.
That's very serious too. Would they really go that far to do that?
It's February 7th, 2021. I know, recently, a lot of cases apparently have been dropped against Trump, from what I understand. He had quite a few of them, and I think most of them have been thrown out or something. I'm not entirely sure what's going on there, but it's quite interesting to see.
Yeah.
Managers, proud of their work on the snap impeachment, staged numerous photo shoots of their preparations.
Preparations.
Wow.
In one of those, Manager Raskin is seen here at his desk reviewing two tweets side by side. The image on his screen claims to show that President Trump had retweeted one of those tweets.
Okay, that was kind of for newspaper.
Now, members of the Senate, let's look closely at this screen, because obviously Manager Raskin considered it important enough that he invited the New York Times to watch him watching it.
Wow.
Now, what's wrong with this image? Actually, there are three things very wrong with it. Look at the date on the very bottom of the screen on Manager Raskin's computer screen when we zoom into the picture. The date that appears is January 3rd, 2020, not 2021. Why is that date wrong? Because this is not a real screenshot that he's working with. This is a recreation of a tweet. And you got the date wrong when you manufactured
in regards to
this
January
graphic.
6th.
You did not disclose that this is a manufactured graphic and not a real screenshot of a tweet. Now, to be fair, the House managers caught this error before showing the image on the Senate floor. So you never saw it when it was presented to you. But that's not all. They didn't fix this one. Look at the blue check mark next to the Twitter username of the account retweeted by the president. It indicates that this is a verified account, given the blue check by Twitter to indicate it is run by a public figure. The problem? The user's real account is not verified and has no blue check mark.
Twitter wasn't owned by Elon Musk, right?
Were you trying to make your account seem more significant, or were you just sloppy? If we had due process of law in this case, we would know the truth. But that's not all that's wrong with this one tweet. House Manager Swalwell showed you this tweet this week, and he emphasized that this tweet reflected a call to arms. He told you repeatedly that this was a promise to call in the cavalry for January 6th. He expressly led you to believe that President Trump's supporter believed that the president wanted armed supporters at the January 6th speech, paramilitary groups, the cavalry, ready for physical combat. The problem is, the actual text is exactly the opposite. The tweeter promised to bring the Calvary, a public display of Christ's crucifixion, a central symbol of her Christian faith, with her to the president's speech, a symbol of faith, love, and peace. They just never want to seem to read the text and believe what the text means. You'll see this reported in the media last evening also.
The way he's talking.
Words matter, they told you. But they selectively edited the president's words over and over again.
Wow.
They manipulated video, time-shifting clips, and made it appear the president's words were playing to a crowd when they weren't. Let's take a look.
After this,
so much manipulation.
We're going to walk down, and I'll be there with you. We're going to walk down We're going to walk down to the Capitol. But I think right here, we're going to walk down to the Capitol. And we're going to cheer on our brave senators and congressmen and women. And we're probably not going to be cheering.
Basically,
so
you need
much
the context. You cut it off in a way that looks like he's really trying to rile people up to go with him.
You have to show strength and you have to be strong. We have come to demand that Congress do the right thing and only count the electors who have been lawfully slated. Lawfully slated.
Right.
I know that everyone here will soon be marching over to the Capitol building.
I really missed all that stuff. Last elections, I heard about this thing. Like, I really didn't know what's true, what's not.
We are going
there
to
was
walk
so
down
much
to the Capitol.
Talk about
I
this
showed you
stuff.
that part. Why are we walking to the Capitol? Well, they cut that off.
Oh.
To cheer on some
That's
members of Congress and not others.
So it looks like he's trying to rile people up, like they're going to revolt.
The Supreme Court ruled in Brandenburg that there's a very clear standard for incitement. In short, to paraphrase, whether the speech was intended to provoke imminent lawless action, and was it likely to do so. Go to the Capitol and cheer on some members of Congress, but not others. They know it doesn't meet the standard for incitement, so they edited it down. We heard a lot this week about fight like hell, but they cut off the video before they showed you the president's optimistic, patriotic words that followed immediately after.
How did they know they cut
Fight like hell. And if you don't fight like hell, you're not going to have a country anymore.
Oh, okay.
Our exciting adventures and boldest endeavors
This is crazy.
have not yet begun. My fellow Americans, for our movement, for our children, and for our beloved country. And I say this, despite all that's happened, the best is yet to come.
Interesting to hear after he won the second time.
There's that famous quote, like one of the House managers said, "A lie will travel halfway around the world before the truth has a chance to put its shoes on." Well, this lie traveled around the world a few times, made its way into the Biden campaign talking points, and ended up on the Senate floor. The Charlottesville lie. Very fine people on both sides. Except that isn't all he said. And they knew it then, and they know it now. Watch this.
But you also had people that were very fine people on both sides. You had people in that group, excuse me, I saw the same pictures as you did. You had people in that group that were there to protest the taking down of, to them, a very, very important statue and the renaming of a park from Robert E. Lee to another name.
Not sure exactly what it refers to be honest.
Was George Washington a slave owner? So will George Washington now lose his status? Are we going to take down?
And they were removing some statues of like slave owners.
Are we going to take down statues to George Washington? How about Thomas Jefferson? What do you think of Thomas Jefferson? You like him? Okay, good. Are we going to take down the statue? Because he was a major slave owner. Now we're going to take down his statue. So you know what? It's fine. You're changing history, you're changing culture, and you had people, and I'm not talking about the neo-Nazis and the white nationalists, because they should be condemned totally. But you had many people in that group other than neo-Nazis and white nationalists, okay? And the press has treated them absolutely unfairly.
See, like how much context actually matters.
Also,
you cut out most of it. Sounds like he's saying something different.
And you see them come with the black
It's so crazy, like the manipulation that's going on.
You had a lot of bad people in the other group too.
Treated unfairly, sir. I'm sorry, I just didn't understand what you were saying. You were saying the press has treated white nationalists unfairly?
No,
I just didn't understand what you were saying.
No. There were people in that rally, and I looked the night before. If you look, there were people protesting very quietly the taking down of the statue of Robert E. Lee. I'm sure in that group there were some bad ones. The following day it looked like they had some rough, bad people, neo-Nazis, white nationalists, whatever you want to call them. But you had a lot of people in that group that were there to innocently protest and very legally protest because, you know, I don't know if you know, they had a permit. The other group didn't have a permit. So I only tell you this. There are two sides to a story. I thought what took place was a horrible moment for our country, a horrible moment. But there are two sides to the country. Does anybody have a final? Does anybody have? You have an infrastructure.
What makes you think? This might be today the first time the news networks played those full remarks in their context. And how many times have you heard that President Trump has never denounced white supremacists? Now you in America know the truth. Here's another example. One of the House managers made much of the president's supposedly ominous words of, "You have to get your people to fight." But you knew what the president really meant. He meant that the crowd should demand action from members of Congress and support primary challenges to those who don't do what he considered to be right. Support primary challenges, not violent
House
action.
managers, I guess that's
I
people
know
in the
what he meant,
Congress.
because I
that serve in
watched
the
the full
Congress.
video.
I'm not sure what he means by
And so did the House
managers.
But they manipulated his words. You will see where they stopped it, and to give it a very different meaning from the meaning it has in full context. Let's watch.
You have to get your people
It's in the
to
same
fight.
place, in the Congress.
Yeah.
He told them.
You have to get your people to fight. And if they don't fight, we have to primary the hell out of the ones that don't fight. You primary them. We're gonna let you know who they
Start
are.
out
I
again.
can already tell you, frankly.
The people who need to fight are members of Congress. Why did we have to skip the necessary due diligence and due process of law and that any legal proceeding should have? It couldn't have been the urgency to get President Trump out of office. House Democrats held the articles until he was no longer president, mooting their case. Hatred, animosity, division, political gain, and let's face it,
Man,
for
as
House
soon as he
Democrats,
left the office
President Trump
or
is
lost
the
the
best
previous
enemy to
election,
attack.
it looks like they totally tried to get him out.
To the certification of President Trump's
All
victory
the court cases, everything.
4 years ago, along with many of his colleagues.
The mugshot, you remember?
You'll
Yeah.
remember it was Joe Biden who had to gavel them down.
I have an objection because 10 of the 29 electoral votes cast by Florida were cast by electors not lawfully certified.
I object to the votes from the state of Wisconsin, which should not be legally certified.
Mr. President, I object to the certificate from the state of Georgia on the grounds that the electoral votes were not.
There's no debate.
And I object to a certificate from the state of North Carolina.
I object to the 15 votes from the state of North Carolina. I object.
I object to the certificate from the state of Alabama. The electors were not lawfully certified.
Is it signed by a senator?
Not as of yet, Mr. President.
In that case, the objection cannot be entertained. The objection cannot be entertained.
Counting
Debate is not in order.
ballot. Even with the
There is
malfunction,
no
87
debate in
voting
order.
machines
Is it
that
signed by a
African
senator?
American
There is no
Rights Act
debate.
and
There is no
confirmed
debate
hacking by
in
the
the
Russian
joint
government.
session. There is
In
no
the early
debate. There is
voting
no
from
debate.
16
There
to
is no
1.
debate.
And the
This sounds
Please
crazy.
come to order.
Why does it say 2017? I don't understand.
But the Russian
Section
2017
18
was
Yeah.
Trump
of
was
the
in the
United
office.
States Code prohibits debate in the joint session.
I do not wish to debate. I wish to ask, is there one United States senator who will join me in this letter
There
of
is no
objection?
debate. There is no debate.
One.
The
There's no
gentleman will
debate.
He
suspend.
just keeps hitting the table.
Wow, that was everything.
Oh,
Oh man, it's crazy. I know there was quite a few different cases, not only this one. I think this was like the impeachment one. It almost seems as soon as Biden won the elections, they started like a campaign to try and get the guy totally destroyed. It's insane. And it's very interesting that now it all kind of crumbles. From what I heard, most of the cases against him have been thrown out. It's insane. You remember the mugshot? That was so funny.
it was actually funny. Can you imagine he taking the mugshot and now he's back as the president? So it's kind of like first in history.
Yeah, so many crazy things. I mean, it looks like since that time they were like trying to,
So hard.
criminally charge him, get him not to be able to run maybe as a candidate. And it just feels totally insane that he actually won against all odds in a way.
Yeah.
Very, very interesting. And it seems like super surreal. I mean, it's kind of crazy after all the cases, mugshot, the assassination attempt.
Twice. And
If you think about it, like
just one man.
the mugshot photo and the photo of him standing up after that shooter, like amazing like moments kind of in history.
Yeah.
And it's both of them are with like Donald Trump. It's insane.
I just cannot imagine. With all these clips they show, I'm really thinking, why would they even go to that extreme? Deleting or cutting or editing major and important parts out.
I mean, it's totally obvious. You want to get rid of and make him look bad. It's not only because I think this was in the Congress. So he was saying, you know, if it would be in court, there would be consequences for that. It's not only you're trying to politically get him out, but also, I guess, rile up people against him. But it's very, very interesting how the information that's controlled by legacy media, as they call it, how much stuff they can edit and make it look a certain way.
Yeah.
If you're not on internet, you know, like we don't really sit on internet and read the news or where, you know, people do their own reports and commentary channels and so on. If this wouldn't exist really, you would only be able to watch these news stations that curate what you see and edit, whether it be, you know, Donald Trump or anything else happening in the world. It's insane. You actually would need to go online and find, you know, the full clip. News stations will cut certain parts just to make him look bad or make a comment on something that he said. They always try and make it as clickbaity as possible and kind of push their own agenda. I really wonder what's going to be happening once Trump is in the office. I wonder if more stuff will start coming out, because I really think there was some shady tactics. They were really trying to destroy him. Before he can even participate as a candidate. When that didn't work well for them, they were still trying to make him, to smear him all the time.
I know a lot of people don't like him and would do anything to just make him look like the bad person. And I'm not American, but somehow I'm always interested when it comes to Donald Trump, just for no reason. But I just feel like he's got like this leadership kind of.
I mean, he's very straight to the point.
Straight to the point.
In a way, I would say he's quite entertaining as well.
Yeah.
I think the important thing is he needs to run your country well. And that's what matters in the end. I know now he's proposing some tariffs and different things to try and get American companies actually build and hire people within USA, rather outsource it. So that's going to be interesting to see how it all works out. I guess the results will speak. That's ultimately how he would be judged. At the end of his second presidency, because that's the last one. What is his legacy going to be like? But I'm pretty sure there will be many, many funny clips. And I totally love the whole thing, because I do like Elon Musk. They're supposed to have this Department of Government Efficiency, DOGE. Interesting idea. And they're planning to cut quite a few different departments within the government that are perhaps not as needed, to try and save money here and there and reduce taxes and so on. I don't know. This is going to be interesting to see. And I think if that would actually work very well in US, I can actually see it going into other countries, like trying to make something like that, make the government run more efficiently. I guess everyone hates bureaucracy. I know there's going to be lots of different news coming about Trump. He's a very controversial person, and he's got people that totally love him or people that totally hate him.
That's right.
He's so polarizing, it's insane. It's very interesting to hear people's opinions that totally love him, but also from the side that totally hates him, and see how they spin the same story. It's very interesting to watch. We don't live in US, so we don't really follow that much, but it's it's definitely cool.
Well, guys, that will be it from us. Do remember to subscribe to our channel. See you in our next reaction.
See you later.
Bye.